We can't afford to do this. I think that's the thing of we can't afford to do this.
Mhm.
And it's always this conversation of it's like, well, if they can, well, why can't we? Because we're not white. That's why. If you want to go be white, sorry, buddy, you can't. So
That be the problem.
we can't do that.
The problem is a lot of people actually do want to be closer in proximity to whiteness. And like I was somebody had sent me a book recommendation. The book is literally called Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun? I was like, I'm never ever going to read that because and the cover is like some older black dude with like a cigar and like a suit on, and it's like it paints this image of us as like we are always chasing whiteness. We always need to be um we always need to be getting closer to whiteness, or yeah. If you can't do that about the thing that you're passionate about, then you have a real issue.
Do you talk to the people in the community that things are bad for? So until then, how are you going to change anything that's going on?
I'm trying to keep it PC here because that's a delicate topic out here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, for sure. Hi, I'm Marcus Conley, and I'm glad I finally got this thing working.
Hi, I'm Isaiah Howland, and I'm also glad that he finally got this working because I almost started watching the movie and I almost fell asleep.
What were you going to go watch?
The Big Lebowski.
Wow, that is not what I was expecting you to say.
Do you ever watch that?
No, I've never seen it. I know about it, but I've never seen it.
Okay. Nah, I just
Have you seen that before? That's a rewatch.
Nah,
oh, okay.
First time watching it. So
You definitely got to get back to us next episode with a review.
Okay, yeah.
I've never seen it. I might need to watch it too now. I'm gonna watch it too.
Okay, yeah. Now I've been getting into my movie bag recently. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been trying to build my attention span and shit. So like because I used to not like movies at all. But
how recent is this new movie thing?
Within the past like 2-3 months probably.
Oh wow. Yeah. So like you never that was you were just like not my medium of
I was not trying to watch. Like my dad would put on a movie and I'd be like, I'm not trying to sit here for 2 hours and pay attention and shit like that. But
that's so funny though.
Yeah, it's weird because my dad's a huge movie fan. Like,
but I'm saying you also have no problem sitting down paying attention for other like artistic things, music. You will sit down and listen to an album.
But I think it was like an album. I can get a good hour of an album and I'll be cool with that. But I'll do something. Yeah, but two pushing it. You know what I'm saying? It was pushing it. But then I got to the point where I was like, man, that's kind of crazy. Like I need to be able to sit down.
So that means, and not to do it because I know that I'm not about to do this to you. I just have to ask: have you seen Malcolm X?
Yeah.
Nigga, that movie is like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, but I was also like, when I watched Malcolm X, I was also on my like.
It wasn't a movie; it was real life.
Yeah. I was like, because I had read the book and I was like,
it was film study.
Yeah. Like I was watching that for like a purpose, you know what I'm saying? I don't like to throw a movie on, you know what I'm saying? The same way people throw shows on. Yeah. I don't usually do that, you know, but now I'm trying to, you know.
We gonna tap into that Big Lebowski. Tap into that Big Lebowski and get back to y'all. We are here on the Lord's Sunday, August 3rd. Here to talk about a whole bunch of hoopla and a bunch of much to do about nothing. Right now, I feel like it's going on. I mean, you know, crazy things are always still happening, as we keep saying, but we are not here to lament on, you know, society's impending death, it seems, from robots. I've seen like 20 things about AI. I did see a dude from Korea who spoke no English singing Never Would Have Made It by Marvin Sapp like 2 nights ago at like 4 a.m. That was great. That was one of the best things oh no, he was killing it. Like he sounded just like Marvin Sapp. I'm gonna send it to you. It's hilarious. I did see that happen. That's going crazy. It's a dude. I'm gonna just fill you in because you don't be on the internet for all my internet people. It's a dude right now also who is building a remodeling. He's been building it for like 20 some years, a remodeling of New York City, like the whole 5 boroughs in his
Oh,
basement. He said he's been building it for like 20 years, and it's like a replica scaled down.
yeah,
He got like the chunks of it. He's been blowing up, He got like, last time I checked, he got like 70,000 followers or something. Like, this old random dude.
yeah.
So
Does he like tour the city and like?
No. He just started posting this because it's almost done. He has said he's been doing it for 20 years. So he's just been doing it in his basement. I'm sure he's probably just been around the whole city, but I think he said he aggregated some of it from like maps and
Yeah,
just figuring out. But it's like all to scale, like all of the buildings are to scale, and it's the whole city.
yeah,
It is wild. So shout out to him. I'm sure that's gonna be a crazy news story once he's finished, and hopefully they do something cool with that. And shout out to all the people with stuff like that going on out there in the world, because it's always, in the times of the digital and the AI, there's always these craftsmen and these craftswomen who, you know, do stuff with beads and all kinds of stuff out in the trapping out their basement too. By the way, that Etsy money,
nah, it's money crazy.
that
I
Etsy
was
money is different.
I was at the club yesterday, and I seen somebody put their phone down, and their case was just an AI like Bitmoji of themselves, and I was like, that's like just so not creative. Like you didn't even try to like get something that was like actually representative of you. It was
You
just
said
like,
their case was their phone
yeah,
case
like the phone case was like an image. It was like an AI image
themselves.
of themselves, or like a Bitmoji on it.
Oh
Yeah,
man, it's getting
yeah.
ridiculous. It's getting
That's
beyond ridiculous. Speaking of virality and the online, the internet, something else I was actually shocked you hadn't heard about this. I
what.
was genuinely the Mehdi Hassan, the Jubilee.
Oh
I
yeah.
was genuinely. I thought after I sent it to you, you were gonna be like, "Yeah, I already seen that, whatever." I was
Oh
surprised when you were like, "Oh, what is this?" Uh,
yeah.
so you only got 15 minutes into it. I watched the whole thing. I watched it 1.5 times. I watched half of it the first time that I rewatched it. Um, and I mean, your takeaways from the first 15 minutes were basically like, "Yo, why the fuck do we have this?" It's like,
Yeah. Essentially, essentially.
but I want to speak for you, so go ahead. And for everybody saying this is Jubilee video, Mehdi Hassan versus 20 far right conservatives. And Mehdi Hassan is a journalist who has done a lot of dope work for a long time.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of the Jubilee videos are just like the 20v1 thing is they obviously make their money off that. And I've seen it before, and I always have thought that it's kind of a useless exercise as far as like having a public debate goes, and like something that's actually constructive versus something that's just put together for media sake, for virality sake. It the we were just talking about the other one was 20 feminists versus Candace Owens. I don't know, like, who wants to see Candace Owens debate anyone about feminism? Like, I don't know. You're having people, whether it's Candace Owens, whether it's the audience, that the 20 people that are coming in and trying to disprove Mehdi Hassan, or disprove like his ideas and his theories about the world and society and whatnot. You're putting a bunch of people usually in a room that they are trying not to agree with their opposition, or whatever. They're doing everything they can to undermine the other person's argument, the other group's argument, or their beliefs and whatnot. And it's usually not in a way that's like constructive of let's learn about feminism or far right, or yeah, it's not really ever that constructive.
Yeah.
Is my issue. It's usually like we're just getting here, and the first premise in the Mehdi Hassan video, first like point that Mehdi Hassan was trying to make was Trump is pro criminal, pro crime, right? And then like one of the dudes said, the main point is Trump is pro crime, pro criminal, right? That's what we're debating. So the dude sits down and he's like, "Are you Indian?" Like, that's the first question or something like that. It's like the first question he asks. It's like, what are we here for? Like, you're clearly not trying to engage with the point that is being made.
Yeah.
You're trying to generalize Mehdi Hassan as like the general progressive, and you're trying to undermine the entire progressive agenda or or ideology by targeting Mehdi Hassan and trying to like they were putting other like progressive claims on onto Mehdi Hassan, like
Yeah.
something about California like decriminalizing or like uh doing away with like their three strikes laws.
Yeah.
So, so the guy sits down and he's like, "Oh, well, what about you? You're pro crime because the progressives in California are the," and he's like, "That's not. We're not talking about them. We're not talking about California
It's
conservative."
a few times that happens too, where they'll put out like some like their generalized liberal ideology, and he'll straight up be like, "I don't agree with that."
Yeah. And it's like, and you can tell like these people didn't come here to discuss or any point, or they're not here to push any specific point. They're simply trying. They see Mehdi Hassan as a symbol of, or like as a representative of the progressives
Yeah.
as a whole. And so they're not debating Mehdi Hassan and what he believes. They're debating progressives and what they think he believes because he's a progressive.
Yeah.
And it's like, then and there again, we're sitting down and our first question is, are you Indian? Why do you and the second, I'm pretty sure like the second or third question is, why do you care what happens in the United States? He's like, oh, are you a citizen? Oh, I don't know how you got your
No, they
citizenship.
were talking crazy. I mean, he
Like,
said I watched a few follow-up interviews of him. He didn't know. So I agree. I will agree with you. That's not the reason I want to talk about this, but I will agree with you on that from that standpoint. I do not think it's a actual debate for him.
yeah.
Now,
But the problem is people think it is though. People like this is people's modern day like debates. Like
yeah,
people's modern day idea of like political discourse
yeah.
is a Jubilee video, and that's the issue. That's the issue to me. Is if you're watching it just for pure entertainment, hey, that's cool. But a lot of people I think are looking at Jubilee and the like 20v1 things, and it's
Mhm.
like this is our modern day debate forum in a way.
Well, I see what you're saying because it is. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the problematic part. I think what you're saying, that is our modern debate forum. It is, and it's not just Jubilee. It's ESPN. It's I mean, obviously 20v1 where they got the idea of 20v1 for it. Now that they turned that into a Netflix show, right? I mean, that's debating, dating and looks and whatnot. When you see these podcasts, these debate forums, it's typically, hey, let's pick a topic and dogpile on one person and position one person to be,
yeah,
hey, you're on this side and everybody versus them, and
yeah,
defend yourself with your back against this wall. It's
yeah.
like this.
And there's valor in one person like defeating
Yeah.
20 other people, even though those 20 people aren't like experts on anything. They're not. They're like just regular people, which is fine, but it's like, keep going, my bad.
No, I agree with you from that standpoint. And a big criticism people have come. I mean, there's been like a petition to get them demonetized and all that shit, and we can get into that. But like, um, in terms of that, I am in 100% full agreement that they need to do a much better job defining what a debate is. And I'm sure because it's called Surrounded, so I'm sure I don't even know if they put debate in there, but I think they say this person is going to debate Mehdi Hassan. Whatever they say or not, it is a debate. I mean, they come up and do one. So I think that's also where they probably try to get around it too, because the people do come up, they run up to the, which is
Yeah,
also
yeah,
really weird. They run up to the middle, and then they have a one-on-one debate while the rest of the people are just on look. It is a strange.
yeah.
It's very strange. Versus when I look back and like think of like James Baldwin, that one at Yale, the famous one where
Oh,
he
shit.
was getting into oh shit. Oh shit.
Okay, okay.
All right, we back.
Yeah, yeah. It still says on there for me, so
No, we all good over here. No, it reminds me of, that would be a smooth edit. It reminds me of the James Baldwin. If you go back and look at like a few of James Baldwin's debates, it'll be him versus somebody. They will kind of be panel setting, um, and there will be a large audience. But it is one assume that like if not neutral, people are just coming to witness the
Yeah.
verbal sport that is debate, that is talking about these things. And I feel like they're trying to recreate that, obviously, with a much more wider scale. So maybe that's the problem.
What
Maybe you do it.
what is the problem?
Maybe the problem is the in trying to make this debate as accessible as possible to as many people as possible, because that's they're the bad Julie is a media company, mass media. Um, Maybe that's like the inherent issue, because they are trying to, like, they're not trying. Mehdi Hassan versus the Mehdi Hassan of conservatives might not be that interesting to the common person.
Yeah.
You and I would much prefer to actually hear some actual talking points, but that's just, and I think this comes back to the big issue of all of this, and the thing of people trying to demonetize them, and where I'll shoot Jubilee some bail. What it is, this at the end of the day is entertainment. And the interesting thing you said is people can't discern that it's that.
Yeah.
How, I don't know how much of Jubilee's fault that is, because once again, if you go on ESPN, if you go on
Yeah.
Joe Budden Network, shit, CNN. I mean, everybody's doing this form of sensationalized debate that are just arguments and personal shots and and fallacies and straw man. You know, I mean, there's no, and it really comes back to Medi kept saying this: good spirit. People do not debate in good spirit. I mean, it's all bad faith debating. So I don't know. I mean, I get what you probably just don't consume much of that anyway. I'd stopped watching like Gil's Arena and stuff like that, because it was at a point in time I was like, oh, y'all actually talk about the game now. Y'all just turn it into everybody else. So you probably don't consume much of it. The one thing I will say, even though I agree that baseline, what they're doing with that is bad,
Yeah.
I do think this episode specifically, because I haven't watched the other ones. I'm damn sure not going to go watch the Candace Owens one. I haven't watched the other ones. This episode is, especially though, I felt important because this is the first time, not me, because I'd be on the internet, but a lot of people are seeing faces to the people saying these things.
Yeah.
Saying, oh, I mean, you only made it 15 minutes, an hour and like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
People say some crazy shit on there. You had the dude who said he's a fascist, just outright, yeah, I'm a fascist. Didn't want to condemn the Nazis. You had dudes telling Mehdi need to get the hell out of the country. Talking, you know, like dude was on there blaming Palestinian children for being, you know, sniped. Like, it was just wild shit was being said openly, and like, and they were clapping, and people were clapping for it. Right?
Yeah.
I feel like this is the first time people were able to see that type of brashness and lack of empathy, like, at work.
Yeah.
And I think that is necessary, because I feel as if, because the big thing, like the one dude who was the fastest guy, he just got fired from from his job, by the way. That's the other reason I felt like this shit was necessary. Yeah, so that was my other thing. People were like, Jubilee like is putting these people up and propping them up. He got fired. But he was like a far right guy on Twitter. Like, some of these guys already had followings too. That was the thing about it. So some of them were already kind of in these spaces as somewhat public, you know, thought leaders on this type of stuff. And the guy who got fired, the fastest guy himself, was. I say that to say, like, it's not like these people are not, they're siloed, but they're not quiet. They're just they're on True Social, they're on crevices of the internet that like we were talking about last time. If you don't interact with those type of people, you just don't know. And I'm not saying go out of your way to go interact with these type of people, because, you know, as Mehdi experience, and he said that too. He was like, I thought we were just, he was like, when Jubilee showed me, it was just 20 conservatives. These people were past far right. So I think on that side, they also swindled him a tad bit, it sounded like, with what he was walking into. But yeah, I'm not saying people should go 20v1 this, but at the same time, I felt like it was important for people to really see what we're dealing with, because as you just said, we can't debate. And a big thing right now that everybody's kind of trying to figure out, especially liberal people, is like, okay, how do, if we are going to listen to you, Marcus, how are we supposed to engage with these type of people, right? Because last time I was like, engage with people like this. How the hell do you do that? I don't. I mean, and I think it's important. It was important for people to see, like, the levels these people take it to.
Yeah.
So when this starts happening on the world stage, when the project, I just watched Mark Lamont Hill talk to the Project 2025 dude. He wasn't as blatantly disrespectful to his face, but it was the same thing, reiterating same talking points, not answering questions. Donald Trump, same thing, right? When you do have the opportunity to get it across these people, if you don't know how to deal with them because you don't know how, like, you're not ready for that type of
Yeah.
stuff, and especially, you know, people felt very personally attacked by some of the things these people were saying. And that's because they were saying it to Mehdi. Imagine if they were saying it to you. I do think there's power in being able to see and prepare for this type of engagement because, you know, as the time goes on and people want to start picking up the pieces and actually fighting the good fight, because we just getting into year one of this. We got 3 more years and we're going to have to start. I mean, year 2 is where we, you know, start trying to restructure some things. I think that's what made it important. Being able to see, like, no, people really do live like this. They believe this and
Yeah.
believe it so much to openly show their face on Jubilee with 10 million views and say these things. I mean, that is insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And that was the only thing. And I did think that was more important for this than that bullshit ass, what they call a debate, because of what it was able to do. And Mehdi just up there slam dunking on them too. I mean, Mehdi
Yeah.
out there making people look crazy. That dude is a
Yeah.
wizard. So shout out to him. That was the only silver lining I saw from, and the dude getting fired. I was like, you know, he wouldn't got fired. He
Yeah.
would have been saying, because it's not like he was saying anything he hadn't said before. He's been saying this stuff.
Mhm.
But you know, now it happens, and now there's some responsibility attached to it. Now he raised like $50,000 or something from, you know, the whoever, you know, follows him and whatnot. But the point still stands. There was something to come out from this. I mean, people spoke up enough, and this was him calling himself openly a fascist and being okay with that was seemingly enough for his employer to be like, "Yo,
Yeah.
that's not okay." Um, which is so funny because he was like anti-free speech. He was like, "We get a fascist leader," and this dude was wild. His name was Connor on the thing. He was like, "We get a fascist leader, and then we have no more free speech, and we're under one rule." And then he dude gets fired from his job. He was like, I thought we could say whatever we wanted."
Right.
You know, so it just shows the mental hula hoops these guys take. And I think that was important as well, to show you put someone up there who is factually based in everything he's saying, and then you have these people who are just coming up with complete hogwash delusion on how even basic systems in the world work, even systems such as racism,
Yeah.
how they work. So I don't know. I may be a little bit more fascinated with it than I am in full belief. Like, I'm not gonna fight the good fight for Jubilee. If the people decide like we don't fuck with Jubilee because of this, fine. I was fascinated with the fact that they were able to get all these people together and
Yeah.
have these people say these things in front of the public with
Yeah.
no care. I think there's power in that.
Yeah. Now, I think it's definitely interesting seeing white people in that type of space where they're like really, not only are they the dominant, you know, group in the space, but that far right leaning, you know, ideology is the main ideology in the group that you know that's having a discussion. And so seeing them so openly just confident saying those things, even for the first 15 minutes that I saw, I was just like, I just can't do it. I just couldn't watch it. Like, I honestly, getting to 15 was a push. I'm not gonna lie. I got to 10 and I was like, if the next 5 minutes don't get any better, then I can't do it. And it definitely didn't. So, but you know, I think it's difficult because again, people can't separate the fact, like the idea that this is entertainment from um the idea that this is like an actual form of real political debate. And this is like, when people think of politics, this is what informs their opinions, or like this is what shapes their ideas of like how our political landscape is. And I think it is important because to show that there are people that think this way, that are super far right, that are outwardly and openly fascist, absolutely. But I think it serves again, another way to drive a wedge in between, you know, the progressive and liberal, or the progressive and conservative, branches. It serves as more inflammatory stuff to be like, well, all conservatives are like this, or all progressives are like this. And yeah, it's just difficult because I just don't. I hate to see stuff like that go viral, and then like we're not like there's not a video of Mark Lamont Hill going viral discussing like actually critically and having like an actual critical discussion about something important. So, yeah.
Yeah, I juxtaposed it to him. I then went and watched him, and like I said, I just started watching Pablo Torre, who's doing like actual investigative journalism.
Yeah, yeah.
And Pablo Torre getting like 50,000 views, Mark Lyle getting like 40,000 views. I'm like, damn, it's hard to like actually do stuff nowadays. But people don't want, I mean, people don't want actual news or actual debate, anything intellectual. You're just too intellectual, Isaiah. You're being too smart.
You think it too hard.
You're thinking too much.
You're using your brain too much.
And that's what we have going on right now. So it's like you might need do you strike a healthy balance? Like if I'm not a sensationalist, so I'm never gonna be for one of my key media philosophies. Why this podcast looks and is what it is. Obviously, this is gonna be the slow burn. This is not gonna be what takes us to the top. Having these types of discussions, but we think this is more necessary than us just sitting here screaming about God knows what, if Wemby's the next, face of the NBA or some shit like that. Like there's just more. And even if that's the topic, there's more nuance to derive from that. I mean, it would even be like this, where I'd be like, no, Isaiah, you're wrong. Here's why you're wrong.
Yeah. Man,
I know more about,
I don't even believe in that shit. So
I know you don't believe in what?
The face of the NBA. I don't believe in that.
What do you mean you don't believe in the face of the NBA?
Like, I don't believe in the idea that there's like there has to be another face like LeBron or Kobe or MJ. Like,
why not?
Because I think with social media, the game and sports in general is just so widely consumed, and like all the star players, there's like so many different star players in the league that and the game is so different now, where you get a guy like Jason Tatum, right? He's the best player on the best team in the league, right? But his impact on the game is a lot of times he might not score 30. He might drive, get doubled, and kick it to Derek White, Drew Holiday, Sam Hauser, and all these dudes. And he's not going to be the face of the league because he made a good basketball player. Whereas Kobe might dribble into some shit and take a crazy bad shot, and he might make that shit and it might look crazy, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, look at Kobe!" But that's not where the game is. I don't think. Like, you get somebody like SGA, he's a little bit more of a scorer, but I wouldn't say he's the face of the NBA just because he's a scorer. And the Ant Edwards, I don't know. There's just so many different guys that are like in the running for face of the NBA that I don't really see why any one of them has to be the face. Like, one of them has to be the next guy. I think
because someone has to be. Someone has to do it.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think
it's not the NFL. The NFL, you can sell teams. You can't really sell teams to the NBA.
You can.
Besides the Lakers and the Celtics.
You can now. I really do think you can now, because the Thunder, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers were the teams in the NBA Finals this year. It wasn't.
And what was the rhetoric around this finals the whole year?
What?
Man, this is the most boring fight. Nobody want to watch this shit. No, and it had nothing to do. It had zero to do with the quality of basketball being played on the court.
No, absolutely. I'm in complete agreement with that. My point is, though, I think we're seeing the NBA go into a type of basketball that's like allows for more parity. Like, you're not gonna get carried by a big three anymore. Like, you have to be deep. You know what I'm saying? The two things, the commonality between the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder was they're two very deep teams that play really fast and play great defense. So you can't be carried by LeBron, D-Wade, and Bosh. You can't just have a big three anymore. Like, you're gonna have to have a team. And that's gonna allow for somebody like the Indiana Pacers, who nobody wants to see in the finals, get to the finals and compete.
Yeah.
You know? So
I would say at that point, then I think the face of the league thing becomes a little difficult, because if you don't have the face of the league going and winning championships, or at least going to the finals, then that's the problem. However, I do believe, for sake of the NBA, and do I think the NBA is going to be financially well off? Yes, I do. So take this with a grain of salt. But for their structure and how they market the league, I think absolutely they need ever since, I mean, before Larry and Bird, you had Dr. J. You always had someone who was the pushing. It was Dr. J, then it was Larry and Magic, then it was Jordan, who took being the face of the league to a whole different. I mean, he was the true first face of the league, and then you had, Bron come, and then you had kind of the Kobe, you had the AI Kobe D Wade kind of thing. So I guess that's kind of what's going on now, because you had that. It was like for a quick 6 years, it was like, who do we do this? We got AI, we got Kobe, we got Shaq, we got Kareem. Who's next up? And then Bron comes in. So this could be maybe like a little moratorium period, but there's going to need to be somebody. I mean, once again, what are we gonna sell teams? We're gonna sell this. We're gonna sell the Oklahoma City Thunder internationally. Like, I mean, just think about it. Because that's the part they're thinking about, and that's why I say Wemby. I mean, they're trying to. The NBA is trying to, and probably will, open up a league in Europe, an NBA sanctioned league, like a whole other league.
yeah,
You're gonna need a face. It would help if that face is European. Luka Doncic on the Lakers now, big market, LA, playing with LeBron. I mean, and once again, if you look at the teams that have been sold, there's only, I said two, but there's three. It is the Lakers, the Celtics, and the Knicks. That's why the Knicks you could sell as a team, because the Knicks brand is New York, right? The Lakers is LA, Boston is just Boston. You can sell those teams, but I mean, you're not selling the Indiana Pacers to anybody in China.
but the thing is, they will have to. The NBA will have to sell them if they keep making it to the conference finals.
No, the NBA is going to have to sell the guy, the main guy who's getting them there.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like the main guy who's getting them there is going to be Tyrese Halliburton,
yeah,
right? But like everybody knows. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton is a great basketball player, but he's not like the star. He doesn't have the star power of even like a SGA or Ant.
But you wouldn't. Would you say that if he got to the finals 3 years in a row?
No, because he plays for the Pacers. Nobody wants to see the Pacers, and that's unfortunate, but that's the truth. Like, but my point is, if he keeps making it to the conference finals and in the NBA finals, you're gonna have to sell the Pacers somehow. They're gonna sell Tyrese as the face of the Pacers, but like you're gonna have to market the Pacers. And if Tyrese is the consistent face we're seeing all the time, or if it's Ant Edwards or SGA, or some of these other new guys, it's going to be there's a battle, there's a battle, and I think there's a healthy struggle with the face thing, but I don't necessarily know that any one of them is going to come out on top, because the thing is, I don't think the Pacers are going to keep making it. I think it's going to be, I think championship windows are closing way faster than they used to. And so when you have more parity, more turnover, you're not going to get a face like Steph or LeBron, because LeBron made it to what, eight like straight finals or something. I forget what the number is, but
like 10 or something.
Yeah, it's like LeBron and Steph and KD are always in the finals, right? I don't think Luka, SGA, and Tyrese are going to dominate the finals for the next 10 years. I think it's going to be some like ridiculous combination of like SGA, Luka, Wemby, Jason Tatum,
until guys start teaming up again.
I don't think the second apron is
it's ruining everybody's plans.
The second apron is taking that all the way down, so it's tough. It's gonna
I hear what you're saying. I still think the NBA would consider it pertinent for them to find a face, for them to find someone that they can put behind. And I do think it will be Wemby. I mean, when Wemby is out here 7'4", and he gets to his level where he's like, fuck it, nobody can stop me. I'm gonna drop 40 and 15 tonight. I think that at 7-4 shooting from 34, I think it'll just look. I think he has to think it's gonna look so wild that it's like, yo, we have no chance. And once again, they're trying to take it. They're trying to be like actually global, like have actual global. Try to take it to a soccer level. Because I mean, I think that's what you try to turn it into. In soccer, that had a face. Soccer had multiple faces, I guess. You had Ronaldo and you had Messi at the same time, but that was like Bron and Curry. So I don't know. I always feel like you need it. Every sport needs a healthy face. If not, that's how you turn into like. I mean, look at baseball before before Ohtani. I mean, look at what the MLB was going through before Ohtani, and you had guys, you had the Yasiel Puigs of the time, you had and you had guys who were consistent, Bryce Harper, but I mean the MLB was like, yo, this game is going down the hole. We got to change the innings, pitch clock, all this stuff. Hey, here's this 6'5" two-way guy from Japan. Yeah, we need him. Please come save this game. Oh, it happened again. Oh shit.
Oh no.
Oh shit. He ain't got that Verizon Fios.
Shit, crazy.
Oh man.
No, I just moved into my new apartment, so
oh yeah, shit.
I don't even have Wi-Fi. I've been living off my hotspot. I've been living off my hotspot for a month.
I had no idea. I had no idea that's what was happening. The guy's so funny. I had no clue.
I haven't had
no,
Wi-Fi.
We're gonna let you live, bro. So wait. Do you have cable?
You said, did I have cable?
No, do you have cable now?
No.
So what are you about to watch? The Big Lebowski. You hook your TV up to the hotspot?
I connected my Xbox to my hotspot. It's bad, bro. It's bad. I gotta make do, man.
I get it, bro. Look, I'm not judging. I'm not judging. Oh man, that's funny. That's the real. Well, going back to this, to sensationalized media and whatnot. Please explain to me then. I'm not saying it's the same thing, and I am definitely not an avid watcher enough to make an educated decision about this. However, please explain to me how South Park you feel is not only a necessary evil in today's times, but something you felt so strongly to text me in my phone and say, I'm not going to quote unquote, but something along the lines of, nigga, you need to watch this new South Park season.
Yeah, bro. Like, I think I never have been an avid South Park watcher. Like, I watched a couple episodes before, and I really wasn't all that entertained. But and I, this episode wasn't like hilarious, but I thought it was really like interesting that how like direct the South Park creators were and like targeting the Trump administration and like being vocal on like current issues. Like for people who haven't watched, the premise of the episode is like Eric Cartman is he's like sad because woke is dead, and because the new administration and everybody is like empowered by the new administration to like just be assholes and like unempathetic as fuck, and so now he can't even clown people for being woke because being woke isn't even cool anymore. Like it's cool to be an asshole now. So like, and then at some point they cut to like Trump's character, which is like actually just of like a cutout of Trump's face. I didn't like, which I wasn't expecting. I really thought it was going to be, because I knew they were going to comment on Trump and do commentary on that, but I thought it was like going to be a character named like Donald Trump, and it'll be like, and it's like a character that kind of looks like him. Or it was like literally just his face, and they had him in the bed with the devil, like literally in the bed with the devil, like the devil is his lover. Like it was like real scathing, real raw. I mean, I guess that's what South Park is.
Yeah.
And so I think I was a little bit not thrown off, but like, I was a little bit thrown off. I was taken aback by how direct of a commentary it provided on Trump. And yeah, I know that they might be getting sued. They probably are getting sued. Who knows?
I think they're definitely getting sued.
I think what's funny is they like preempted the lawsuit. So like I think they mentioned it in the episode, and so Now, if Trump sues them, now it's going to look real crazy because, but I mean, he doesn't really care. So
they just did a real good cultural critique of what was going on now.
Not even like I don't even know. If
that's my thing. I mean, I haven't watched it, but from what I've watched, I mean, there are some pretty exaggerative, ridiculous, over the top. And I mean, they get to real stuff, but it's buried deep underneath the surface of pretty ridiculous commentary.
Yeah. They had Jesus like trying to. It was crazy. It was. I can't even say that it was like a good cultural commentary. It was just like like I said, I saw it and I was like, whoa, this is a lot more.
It was just where they went. It was how far they went with it.
Yeah, how far and how direct they were. How far they went and how direct they were at targeting like the Trump presidency. And like he was like walking through the White House and like there was just like crazy pictures of Trump like hung up, just doing crazy weird shit. Like I don't know. It was like if I were Trump and I watched that shit, I would be embarrassed. I would be like, damn, this is what people think about me. But he doesn't really care about anybody.
It's interesting. No, he don't give a flying shit. It's interesting to think about, like, because they're coming out that time with the Boondocks. And I go back and watch Aaron Magruder's like my goat. So I go back and watch that all the time, try to study, learn things. And he didn't pull punches at all. And that was what took me back. So when I first watched it, I was like, oh shit, he's like direct out the gates. And they're the same thing. And a lot of family, like it was even Family Guy back in the day. Like you were allowed to make kind of, it sounds like the sentiment of what they're saying, you were allowed to commentate actually on society. And it's it's such an interesting thing right now of how we live in a society. Now, I'm not going to try to get that existential, but we live in a society right now where everybody has opinions. People espouse them. Everybody has a podcast.
Yeah.
Some people with multiple. Who thinks they're self-important? Everybody has a microphone to speaks into them, says pretty much what they say, feeling like there's a lack of consequences in their free speech. But there seems to be, at the same time of that, more infringements on people's free speech, i.e. the Trump, administration actually suing people, and cutting funding from people for stuff like that. But on the same side, this cancel culture thing, where now so many people feel like they can't say anything. It's like there's I grapple with it all the time, even when I'm sitting editing the clips for the podcast, like looking like, oh, did I say go too hard here? Did we say the wrong thing there? Like,
yeah.
But the backdrop is we have this time in the society where, I mean, the president's posting memes of fucking people being deported.
You see that one Homeland Security post?
Yeah, the Jet 2 holiday.
You said what?
The Jet 2 holiday?
Nah, I don't think it's the same thing.
Which one?
It's like it was like the caption was like, remember where you came from or something like that. And it was like a white couple on like the prairie and like
bro, so you don't know what I'm talking about. This went viral too. Bro, these motherfuckers, it's this like kind of meme right now with this sound that's like a Jet 2 holiday, and it's like this getaway vacation experience. That's the sound. And but the video will be someone like crashing out and punching somebody or something like that. That's like what the meme started out as.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers, the White House, I think this was the White House account, posted like a highlight tape of people being deported, putting them on the plane, getting them there, showing all the camera all in people's face with that sound behind it, bro. That's fucking crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. Media, like mass media, actual media, bro. That's like in the media. So that's what I'm saying. You can do that, but I can't come on here and be like, talk inflammatory about the administration. It's odd. It's an odd place we're at right now. But I don't know how much is real and how much isn't, because like I said, at the same time, you have so many people like saying a whole bunch of stuff on podcasts. Oh, I think we're about to unearth something here. You have a bunch of people saying things on podcasts, but you don't have the South Park thing. And that's kind of what I want to get to. And like, why is that not happening? Like,
what do you mean?
Why are you and I and the likes of us scared to go hard and to go as hard as and this gets to the Mediasan thing. I think this can kind of be the situation. Why are we as good mannered people? I think I can come up with a few reasons. So averse to taking it to that level, to taking it to the level of, I guess, obnoxious. I mean, some of it is plain just being a terrible person, and I know that's probably starters right there. But even in a way like South Park, having actual critique that is it can be jokes, but it's still very in front of your face to where you know exactly what we're talking about. Not all this highfalutin comedy that, like, you know, Dave Chappelle shit that takes 3 years for you to get the joke. Like, there's people making content and comedy about, and situational comedy about today's society, but they don't, like, they always fall right short of getting into the actual nuance of the problem.
Yeah.
And it seems like a fear of the retaliation, which is so interesting because we live in a society where you seem like you can say anything. So I it's a lot of those dynamics just at play by all of this that we're saying, this thing of like, who's allowed to say what, and to what extent. That was just a lot. And I don't mean to drop you on that and say, hey, solve all of society's communication problems, but, you know, just to start with, um why do you feel as if people like us in today's times, where people seemingly do not give a shit what they say, why we care so much about, you know, what we say and how we say it?
I mean, there's so many different things. It's like, and one of the things that comes to mind, first thing is like self-preservation, as far as like your job, your career, your obviously fear of retaliation in the workplace is probably like one of the biggest things. Losing your job, losing your losing money, or losing your ability to live and pay bills, because you espouse a view that is unpopular, uh, or that contradicts like the dominant narrative, and it contradict or it goes against the dominant narrative so drastically that having you around in a corporate setting or like a company setting is like, that's not good for the corporation, or the whatever it is. So I think like self-preservation is like the number one thing I think of, is just trying to dance around topics and dance around issues, um, in a way that puts a good enough gap between the person and the issue, so that they won't face retaliation for talking about it. And I think part of it is also because this administration has emboldened people who do espouse like really harmful views. Um, and when you're faced with those types of people, and or when you're encountering those types of people, and like far right conservatives, for example, and that number of people is growing, or that there's a more confident uh, uh, adoption of far right conservative views, you're almost like scared to delve into like political talk, or talking about certain discussions, whether it be like in the workplace, or in personal settings, because you might get into a conversation with somebody, and become and start feeling threatened, because they're saying I'm a fascist, and I want a fascist leader, dictator. Like, I don't know, that there you might feel threatened by someone's views, um, if you try to engage with them in a conversation. So I think it's again, that's kind of a self-preservation thing too. But those are my immediate thoughts. But
It's interesting. I hear what you're saying. I think that is probably a huge thing. But Republicans have jobs too. What did Michael Jordan say? Republicans buy shoes too. Um,
it's like,
but you're saying because that's kind of like the dominant discourse right now, being able to say those things are in fashion.
exactly, like it's cool to be far right conservative right now.
Yeah.
Because think about it, like optics are a really big thing. Look, Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth is what, like, I forget what his exact role
Is he
is.
defense secretary?
Yeah, the secretary of the Department of Defense or something. Um, and like he's like a younger white alpha male,
Yeah.
and he's like, we're gonna bring the warrior ethos back, and so now it's cool to be like super alt right. And so people who have those views are again more emboldened, more empowered to express those views in public settings. Um, and now that, again, going to the South Park episode, now that being woke isn't cool anymore. It's not like the thing that
I
makes,
see what you're saying.
yeah.
I see it. So it's
So
actually just this is the shit that these conservative people kept talking about all during Biden's campaign on college campuses. We just feel like we can't we just
yeah,
feel like we don't have freedom of speech on the campus. It's like, no, you just can't call people niggers and be inflammatory. You can say other things. But I see what's going on. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I still feel as if though, people are going too far not saying things, I feel like at this point. And I want to take time to like champion, you know, you have guys like Deontay Kyle who are starting to like actually say the things that need to be said.
yeah, like hold niggas
Like,
accountable.
yeah, like hold niggas account. People like Mark Lamont Hill. I mean, people would like to, you know, I appreciate Deontay Kyle so much more. Obviously, Mark Lamont Hill is like a scholar. So you know, it can be very overheads of many people who listen to that. But Deontay Kyle is like, nigga, I drove a truck. Like, I'm a regular dude, bro.
In jail like 13 times before he's just something crazy.
See,
Like,
actually, I
it's
didn't know
not
that.
funny. It's not funny, but like he said something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, he is, I feel like, the best example of like, no, like these things do need to be said, need to be talked about. But he gets a lot of backlash though. He gets a shit ton of backlash.
And that's another thing. It's like not only is it you might face backlash from white people, you might face backlash from people in your own community.
Well, that's the worst part. And we got about 30 minutes if you want to get on these. We can get on these blacks too. But that is the worst part. I'll get there, at least touch on it. That is a bad part right now too. Is the lack of the one thing I will say, probably a big thing too. When Republicans say something, there's an echo chamber in their support. I mean, there's people that show up and are like, hell yeah, I believe that. Yeah. I mean,
just off the strength that it's from Trump or like their administration, or
look at the Mehdi Hassan thing. People clap it. Yeah. I want you to get out. It's like whatever they were saying. It's like, yo, if it's anti this, we are supporting. I mean, you can't get 3 niggas to be on the same page about anything. There's not one topic that you could get that we could canvas 10 random black people and put them in a room and be like, hey, do we all agree on this one thing? Boy, that would be tough. Yeah. And then to get support publicly too, especially if we're talking about something that's unpopular.
Yeah. So what do you think I don't like talking about it from like a blame perspective because I don't know.
We about to blame. I'm blaming somebody.
You gonna blame somebody?
Somebody has to. That's that Greg Abbott shit. Greg Abbott, after 100 niggas died on his watch because of the flood in Texas, was like, good leaders don't blame. They just take accountability and move on and do better next time. Well, to take accountability, somebody has to be blamed for how the shit failed the first time. So throw out some possibilities. Who we gonna blame?
Who's the first on your mind? Like maybe not who, but like
academic niggas.
Okay.
These liberal black people who have been in power of black social commentary for the past 30 years. You know, these professors who have been at these universities, these I mean, I don't know if you look at Africana studies departments and at colleges, but they're pretty old. Like, I've been talking about the people who work there. Like, there's not a lot of young people in these departments. The same thing at UD, same thing here, same thing. Every university I have been to and had which has been at least 5, across different parts of the country, they're not that young. So that's the first part where the people with the actual information and knowledge of these movements, of the civil rights movements, of the 90s, of the 80s, of the Black Panther Party, of Tulsa, the people with the actual knowledge of these things, there is such a disconnect between the knowledge and the people who holds them and people like you and I, because that knowledge and that understanding is tied up in these academic institutions. And the research these niggas contribute to, besides like Nicole Hannah-Jones, is, and I'm not saying, I mean, there's great things that come out of African American studies departments, and I'm not about to blanket statement say they suck. However, the research and what they put forward is not largely disseminated to, definitely not our generation of Black people. There's a communications problem with the information and how to get it there. So if these are the people with the information and they have all of it and they have the knowledge, there's no way of talking to. All of the ways they reach out are antiquated. Panels, right? And then there is this, and then you get into the hierarchy of it. Did you go to Howard? You know what I'm saying? Did you go to Howard? I'm Black in the Ivy League. Oh, nigga, I'm here to, if we're gonna talk about it, nigga, we gonna talk about this shit. Like,
oh shit.
Did you? Yeah, no, because but that's the real problem with it. It's like, where is this information coming from? I'm sitting here trying to composite rap study, and it's like a dude at UVA. Shout out to AD Carson at UVA. Not Harvard had the Nas Jones Fellowship. Bun B teaches a course at rap, and Lupe's teaching at MIT. None of these people are talking to each other. Like, so
do you think there's a disconnect between the old guard and
absolutely, but it's tied, I'm saying, because it's tied up through the academia. So we always have there is the capital problem between all this, which we can get to, which is the Black capitalism. But in terms of just pure information, how much of it is tied up in academia and the old guard, because that was the one place they could go and be free and intelligent and be Black. That's the arena, and that's what they know. And these niggas control these situations. You're a doctor at Howard. I'm sure that's a very great place for you to go. You go, people come and ask you questions. You're the guy. You're the professor of political science, African American political science at Howard. I don't know if that's a position, but it is. But I mean, but if it is, for example, just to say, if I am this person, how that person is looked at in our community when you're talking about being in DC, when the Smithsonian is calling, when these people are calling, I mean, these people are important in their realms. They get so caught up in that shit and the who's who and what's what, whose name is on the research, all that, versus the actual mission of like, yo, what about the kids who are coming through here, who the common kid who like is not going to sit and go to your office hours and sit and talk because they're fascinated, because they have a whole bunch of things going around. That's where I put a lot of the informational and communication issue that our generation has, especially when the internet comes out. So you have nobody guiding us, our generation, on how to actually form a protest, how to start a movement, how to strategically change systems. No, there's no guidance on that, because that's what they did. It's just like, well, why I'm gonna give that information up? Because what happens is a nigga like me and you come along with some ideas, and it's like, okay, yeah, see, that what you're talking about doesn't work anymore. So now you should probably be unearthed from your position, and that's not okay, because that's playing with people's money. So I definitely think in the academic sense, there is an old guard that does not want to let the younger guard in and take the reins, because that's the only thing they really have. If you look at Black intellectualism, where are all of the older people located? Because it's not on the internet. It's not in like spaces that are in little communities. You have certain things. Yeah, in Philly you have the elders, but you have the FOI. In Houston, man, it's not like a barber shop. I'm sure there's one, but back in the day, you could go to a place and seek out elder knowledge, a bar room, a pool house, right? Like, that's just where older guys hung out. It's so silent now. Here's where they got to get together is in academia. So I mean, that's where the DEI shit started.
Yeah.
That's where that shit started. And what was it? A bunch of fucking prayer groups and circles and wellness meetings and all this shit. It had nothing. It had nothing to do with like actual Black advancement and helping. I mean, think about it. We are the DEI generation. We went to college when this was propagated.
Yeah.
Less Black people less Black men are going to college now than ever, and that didn't just start this year. That's been a decline. So that's where I feel like the conversation should start, and this just doesn't start there with the people who actually, like, if you go look and say, okay, somebody had this information at some point, because we always talk about it from our generation as we're at such a loss. Let's get to the people who had the information, right? The one thing I will say about like then there's this, and then we can get into the capitalism side, because you're like, who do we blame for this, for how fractured the community is? We'll get to the white people and crack and all this. So we got the academia with the old niggas who want to just seem intelligent, right? Shout out to people like Mark Lamont Hill. Once again, Mark Lamont's like, he had an opportunity. He's like, I can stay, I can be at Temple, I can teach and just be in siloed and be around here. But he's like, no, I'm gonna go to the media, I'm gonna go on these reels, I'm gonna go to Joe Budden, I'm gonna have these conversations so someone like me and someone like you can see that. If he didn't, we would have no idea what the fuck he's doing, right? Like, so there's just no outreach in that point. Then you have the Black capitalism people, the people with the money, and sometimes that is those two are together, but for the most part, those are pretty different people. The Jack and Jill crowd, right? Those types who are like, there's this caste system of Blackness that we want to keep going on here. Yeah, that don't work either. That shit don't work. It don't help. And that's how these are people who are high working professionals, CEOs, executives, right? And it's like, I'm just gonna hang out with those other people. I'm not going to go to the common person in these neighborhoods I grew up in, because I go back and I don't want to have to deal with whatever. I'm going to only hang with people who make an upwards of $600,000 and who drive a S-Class, right? If you and I, as young people, are coming out here trying to say something and try and need some sort of backing, we're trying to say something that may potentially be against the current of what's going on, and we need someone to stand up and say something. Yeah, it'd be great if we had 50,000 just fans of people like us who are just like, hey, because they really believe in the message. What really would help is if we had somebody with some motherfucking money who was willing to put their bread up behind it.
Yeah.
But how did they get to these positions they're in? To have these high earning jobs? They like kissing ass.
Yeah, pandering.
They like pandering to good old Uncle Charlie. So they're not going to stand up either. So I think that's where, I mean, yeah, our generation got shit we can fix. We are distracted. We got phones, but we are, I mean, you know, at the top of our generation, what are we, 25, 26? We're a direct product of this exact situation that we were put in by, you know, the what was that? That would be my mom's generation. What, Gen X? I mean, my mama did a great job. Not her. She's killing. Y'all need to start taking some goddamn lessons on how to do this shit. But for most of her generation, this is the problem. I mean, my mom's had the same friends for like 20 years because of this exact thing. Like, all of her friends have been the same friends she's had the whole time. And I always used to wonder, I'm like, Mom, you're like, you know, you're moving in a bunch of these different spaces and all this Black stuff, and it's like everywhere she goes, it's caste systems. It's people just finding new ways to create hierarchies. And I think academia for sure, and we don't, because I already saw how niggas is comfortable, but especially HBCUs propagate, and especially very good ones propagate that shit that we have going on, which is who can be the special Negro. Nobody wants to be the head nigger in charge, but everybody wants to be the special Negro. Who can be the special house nigga to be like, yo, when Whitey comes calling and says, and George Bush is like, I need an ambassador, who can that be? That's who can be, who's gonna be Gavin Newsom's who's gonna be Gavin Newsom's guy that they go to, that, okay, you get to dole out all these dollars to the Black community. Yeah, that's the other, that's like, I feel like the two sides of the coin right now of what is fucking us, because our generation is broke. We don't have the we don't have the capital, and we don't have the resources. We don't own homes. We don't, right? So like these things that there's no olive branch being extended to be able to drive that. And once again, I'm saying no, there's no national or even quasi-national concerted effort. Yeah, in major cities like Houston, New York, DC, you're going to have these pipelines. You're going to have these through these certain institutions. But in terms of getting a multitude of people on the same page, even regionally, there's no leadership. I mean, look at fucking Dr. Umar. Nigga.
And you know what's sad, man, is that, and we've said this before, how Dr. Moore being like the face of Pan-Africanism and like Black intellectual thought is like really bad. But it's sad that there hasn't been like another Black male figure that has tried to challenge and like put themselves.
Because this is what we also do too. We don't talk about Black people badly in public. So I'm sure you can't call Dr. Umar and talk to him in private, and he's going to be trying to hear none of that shit. That if I called Dr. Umar tomorrow and was like, yo, hey, just by the way, I'm really not feeling this rhetoric surrounding, the Black family and how you have it. Can we talk about this? I'm sure he's probably not going to be trying to hear what I have to talk about.
Yeah.
The only way to get through to him is in a public platform, is in public forum. And but then that gets into the line of, and you see it all the time in the comments, man, we don't need to do this. We should keep this in-house. We should. And once again, it's like, whose bidding are we doing? Why should we keep this in-house?
And it's definitely a double-edged sword too, because it's, again, kind of like the Jubilee thing, where we don't want to platform bullshit. Like there's definitely a fine line of like having a critical discussion about, interracial marriage and stuff like that, or platforming just like ridiculous ideas and having a conversation that like really leads to nowhere, just for the sake of entertainment. So I think that there's like, again, social media has provided us, or has hamstrung us with like this weird concern of like, how can I have a discussion with somebody that's like actually critical and it's not
inflammatory.
Yeah, inflammatory and bullshit, and we're not just here screaming at each other and calling each other coons and shit like that.
Let's get to this thing, because this goes back to the Jubilee thing too. How do you, and this is I've been asking you this question, I feel like, for the past 5 weeks, like every time after we have the conversation. Let's just take a Dr. Umar. How do you, because you're saying we don't want to sensationalize, inflammatory rhetoric. We don't want to have a show of pageantry of just who can scream the loudest, right? How do I then engage in how do we thoughtfully dispel exactly what we're trying to dispel and say are problems? This is my central point of the conversation I'm having, of people being scared to say these things, right? Like, I feel like I have to be the person to say, hey, Howard niggas, that's not okay. Hey, Jack and Jill crowd, that's not okay. Pass the information down, right? How do you? I do it in that manner, and now it's like, okay, now who does this nigga think he? Now we're having a personal. Now someone seems personal. We're having a problem. I'm clearly not the issue. Well, first of all, I am the nigga with the issue, because this is a problem. So we've acknowledged that this is a problem. What happens is, let's take Dr. Umar. Hey, Dr. Umar, like that shit that you talking about X, Y, and Z. Nah, nigga, that's not what it is. He gonna feel personally attacked about that. And now we're having a personal thing. How do you engage within and have these conversations and say, let's go? And I think he would be someone who might be open to, I've seen him openly debate and have actual good faith debates about things. So I'm not saying he wouldn't, but in terms of what people want to listen to and what people want to hear, how this is the grand question I'm trying to ask. How do you debunk, dispel, disapprove, disavow? I don't fucking know. How do you disavow these types of characters without actually disavowing them publicly?
I think the community has to like have a collective knowledge and understanding of like Dr. Umar or like somebody like Dr. Umar is just an entertainer. Like,
Yeah.
It's or I don't want to reduce him.
No, I'm reducing the nigga to just an entertainer.
But like there certainly has to be a collective understanding of like this is not the face of black thought, black political thought. This is just one single black man that has certain beliefs that are questionable sometimes. So I'll just say that. But again, people are engaging with his content like seriously. Like if there's people who seriously engage with him as if he is a black political thought leader, it's like this is obviously a crazy comparison, but it's like he's the Marcus Garvey of our time.
No, it's not
like,
a crazy comparison. He is the Marcus Garvey of our time.
But it sounds crazy, but the reality is when you think of Pan-Africanism, that's like the first mind that pops up, or first person that pops up in your mind, like that's widespread and virally known. And I think that I want to tie in like the Democrats, maybe like the Black Democrats too. This is where it's really important for there to be knowledge of like how to communicate a platform, build a platform and communicate it on social media, as opposed to just ignoring it as if it doesn't exist. Like social media is the new frontier of like politics. It is the new. I mean, I guess it always has been to a certain degree, but like having social media is like you have multiple social media accounts. Everybody has YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. And so like you're getting a lot of your political discourse through those things. And so people like the Democrats, Black Democrats particularly, and just Black thought leaders in general need to be intentional about constructing like a plan that incorporates social media into like pushing their platform. And I don't think that there's enough of that right now. There's individuals, there's like you said, Deontay Kyle on like the sort of common person level, and then like Mark Lamont Hill on like the academic level. But there's no. Can we get a Deontay Kyle and Mark Lamont Hill podcast? Can we get a Deontay Kyle X Mark Lamont Hill X Poetically Correct podcast?
Oh, we get. So here's the thing. As you saying this, it sounds like what they need is two young, sproutly Negroes themselves to come and give some advice. No, but that's actually what it is. Not to cut you off, but that's exactly what they need. They need people like us, but they have. But I mean, the CBC has internships every year. They got summer internships. Yeah. They got summer interns. Why? I mean. I definitely think you're on point with that. I think also gatekeeping might need to be in place. Someone needs to say, hey, Dr. Umar, it's not okay. You are not a thought leader, bro. And like that needs to be okay with being said. I think there's a problem too. People like you have people people like Roland Martin, people like Mark Lamont Hill, people like even Tavis Smiley. Even Tavis Smiley. People who exist in these spaces need to stand up and be like, yo, like you're not one of us, bro. Just because you have a platform and just because you have a following does not mean that it's worthy of being spoken about. And I think I feel like, I mean, white people do it all the time too. I mean, that really is some white people shit, where it's like anybody get a microphone and just talk. I think Black culture has adopted that, and that has become a bit of a problem. You go ahead, man, get it off, because I got some more fire, because the CBC had it be shit like this. Why in the fuck is Boosie performing at the CBC's, the Congressional Black Caucus? Just for those that don't know what the CBC is, why is Lil Boosie in 2025 performing at the CBC's like kickoff wellness event thing? Why is that a thing? Who the fuck is doing the programming? Nigga, is that focused?
Is that focused? That is honestly a time, and That's honestly a time to bring like a Kendrick in. Like that's like to bring somebody in
It's the
that's like
time I can name at least 50 niggas who we should have brought in before Lil Boosie.
Yeah. But like somebody who has a target is gonna like present a targeted message as opposed to rapping about independence.
I mean, he's gonna bring a targeted message of some shenanigans and some bullshittery. And so that's going back to the Dr. Umar thing. When can we separate ourselves from this sensationalized? This is a big problem we have too. Why everything got to be Anthony Mackie? Yo, motherfuckers, I'm Tupac. Why everything got to be like that? Why can't it be real good, actual conversationalists having good, low, down to earth conversations like this? Why does it always have to be Biggie versus Tupac, shoot 'em up, bang bang, Kendrick, Drake? Everything got to be why it always got to be nigga moments?
Yeah.
All of our media has to be this. Gil's Arena, sports media. You rarely have people just sitting down having actual conversations. And once again, this is not a black, like white people do this more than anybody else. Fucking Barstool doesn't have anything that is intellectual in the slightest. So they've have whole subcultures of this shit. We can't afford to do this. I think that's the thing of we can't afford to do this. Mm-hmm. And it's always this conversation of it's like, well, if they can, well, why can't we? Because we're not white. That's why. If you want to go be white, sorry, buddy, you can't. So
that'd be the problem.
We can't do that.
The problem is a lot of people actually do want to be closer in proximity to whiteness. And like I was somebody had sent me a book recommendation. The book is literally called why should white guys have all the fun? I was like, I'm never ever going to read that because and the cover is like some older black dude with like a cigar and like a suit on, and it's like it paints this image of us as like we are always chasing whiteness. We always need to be we always need to be getting closer to whiteness, or and it's just sad because people are chasing I'll stop there. My train of thought was about to go somewhere different, but
no, you good. People are chasing. I'll jump on that. I think what you're saying is, and I see it too. Like people are chasing. Yeah, I don't think everybody want to be a nigga. So you want to have the beautiful skin you have and the abilities to dance and rap and all of that stuff. The great things that black people have, right? We all want those, but in proximity to whiteness, we want their resources, we want their wealth, we want their systems, we want all of this. But and that can be fine too. But where I think it goes a little far is we want to be able, going back to last conversation, we want to be able to do what they do and how they do it like them. Mm-hmm. And that is the problem. Because we can't. Mm-hmm. One, we can't enslave a bunch of niggas. So we probably already starting off on the wrong foot. I mean, there's already a dynamic of 400 years of history of the culture that they have that we just don't have. We don't got that. Specifically talking about here in America, right? So everything following that, you want the house that they got, you want the woman that they got, you want the car that they got, you want the job that they have.
Have you on the job?
To make it seem like you are on, like, because they are the level, they are the standard of excellence. And in the media, we want to do things exactly how they do it, because going back to communications, we want to communicate how they communicate. Fuck the fact that we have rap music, which is one of the most transformative tools of communication of the 21st century. We don't put that to like actual use for knowledge and spreading things. We want to, go on CNN. We want to go on, Joe Rogan. We want to do everything that they do and how they do it. Oh, they have reality TV. We want to do reality TV too. We want to be rambunctious niggas too, right? Because why don't we get to do it? And then we put ourselves into, that's what we sell most of. Tyler Perry shit. I'm fucking with, like, I'm fine with it if you do it for an ends to the means. But my nigga, why are we doing downtrodden black woman porn at 50 years old when you were up like $500 million?
Yeah.
What is it with these niggas to where we can't let the suffering and the bullshit go? Why can't we just be like happy regular black people? Just everyday life. Hey man, I get to talk to Isaiah today. Life is good. When did that shit stop? Probably crack.
It all goes back to Ronald
If
Reagan.
I had to guess, is Ronald Reagan did a number on that. I mean, that is literally where it all goes back to. It's bad. I don't know. I'm just, at this point, I'm just throwing these things out there, just trying to understand. I'm sure, hopefully, wonderful listeners, let us know your comments and your thoughts on these things. Yeah, because I mean, I'm sitting looking around and you're talking. I think we're sitting right at the exact time, and this is why we're doing this. I mean, yes, I wholeheartedly agree. We should be, and people like us should be the people to be having conversations with these politicians of like, yo, what is the disconnect? Because clearly they're not doing the service of trying to understand it. And if they're not, please show me what focus group y'all are fucking looking at. Because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to say, hey, like, Kai Cenat got all these followers and whatever. And y'all, this is my thing. They have all the data. That's what's so hard for me to understand at this time. They have the data. I know these campaign teams. I know what they don't have a short of: motherfucking computer people, analysts and yeah, they have a lot of people who just sit all day and look at numbers and do spreadsheets and shit. So I don't understand where the disconnect and the lack of translation between. Then it's the same thing at universities. Doing all this is going back to my African state. Y'all do all this research, all of this research. How is it not being able to be spread? How are y'all able to figure out how to research how Megan Thee Stallion impacts black women's sexuality and shit like that, but y'all can't then go disseminate the information? And y'all telling me so y'all can figure out the actual issue, but y'all can't get the information out there? That to me seems like a lack of trying, because it's like, that may not be your area of expertise. You're a political scientist. That's fine. How about you go ask one of your students, right? Like, this is the type of stuff work study is supposed to be for. It's just there's these disconnects and there's these things, and it's at a point where it starts to feel as if we're getting in our own way in a lot of these issues. There are not enough of people like us stepping up and saying one publicly now. So I'm glad we're saying it now, just to put it out there and continue to say this publicly and privately as we go. Hey, we're people from our generation who we want to change this issue, because I don't think there's enough of that. I think our generation's like, look, these old niggas not trying to help us, so we just gonna do it our way and figure it out. Because what advice can they give? You could buy a home at 22, you can't buy a home now, right? Like, the world was so different. We have 20 v1s and all of this crazy, like, the world is so crazily different. How good is your advice, right? There is that side to it, which there is it's reasonable in certain instances. But I mean, someone needs to step up and say, hey, we need to get this figured out and get on the same page, because once again, the disparities in things like wealth, access to resources, just generationally between black people is wild. So somebody needs to do our bidding and get in these positions. On the other side, and I'm going to put this on the elder people, need to it's going to be maybe too late for y'all to start establishing your own systems, because y'all are so deep into the system. But I mean, there are mentorship circles, there are programs and stuff for this to happen. But I think there needs to be a little bit more of a collective. There's just nobody on the same page at the end of the day, and I think that's what it comes down to. There's no collective, there's no leadership, there's no leader, there's no true leader. That's where this first and foremost starts. There's no true leader, and everybody who steps up to be a leader is met with all kinds of ridicule and picking apart of if they're fit to be a leader or not. And then
Yeah.
you have niggas like Cory Booker, who you
Yeah.
stand up and you want to be a leader, and then you go sit down for 6 months, and now the next time you get up and scream at everybody in Congress is because you want some more funding for your police officers.
Oh,
Nigga, shut up.
I didn't know that.
You know, so it's like, look at the people we have in place.
Yeah.
Look at the people we have chosen. We need to take a real good look on the people we have chosen. The people at the CBC, the Congressional Black Caucus, who once again had Boosie at their
Boosie Badass.
at Boosie Badass at whatever event they had to commemorate something with black politics. Boosie Badass was their headlining performer. I'm going to keep saying this because it's ridiculous. We have reached a point where it's not making sense anymore. And we yes, we don't have all the answers. We are not, I'm not gonna fix all of this in you know, maybe not even in my lifetime, but I think it's due time for us to start being able to say at least, hey, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Boosie Badass at the CBC event is ridiculous in 2025. In the Obama years, I might let you do it. Right now, it's not time for that shit. You better call Wale or Common or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't nah, bro. Like, that's bad. That's real bad. So I don't know. This was very circular communication. I mean, it's this. What do you feel like the biggest disconnect here is? Do you think it's is the communication problem? I mean, it's a lot of problems at play here, but if you were to just pick the top two kind of problems, I look at everything we just talked today about a communications issue. There is an issue being able to communicate the thoughts that we have right now in a civil manner, and people can't look outside themselves and have actual communication with people.
Yeah, nah, it's definitely communication. And the one thing I forget his name, the governor, the candidate for governor in New York, what's his, you remember his name?
No idea who that is.
Okay, well, the one who's hold on, let me look at his name up. Because I saw maybe it's not the governor race. Either way,
is the mayoral race with the dude?
Mayoral, the mayoral race.
I know exactly what you're talking about. The dude who just won, right?
Nah, he didn't win. I don't think.
Oh, did he not win?
Nah, he. I don't know. Yeah, Mamandi.
Yeah, he won? I thought he won.
Maybe he did. I don't know. But I think he made it past one of like the preliminary election.
Okay.
Things. But
it hasn't even happened yet. I'm tripping.
Yeah, but one of the things that I really like about him, I saw a clip of him from the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Which again, like he's on a staple of a staple media platform of the Black community. And he communicated his platform and his message like very well, verbally. He was able to, they were asking him like, I think, some tough questions, or like some questions that require him to put a lot of critical thought into his answer. And he conveyed it very well to the point where like, if you heard him speak, you'd be like, okay, this is somebody who knows what he's talking about. This is somebody who has a plan, and even if you don't agree with that plan, it's still intention. He's still putting in intentional, will behind it. And so I don't see enough of that in the Democratic Party and Black political thought in general right now, because again, like you said, we have a bunch of older politicians in power, and they're not focused on disseminating the information on social media platforms like the Breakfast Club, like Mark Lamont Hill going on to the Joe Budden podcast. And I'll be honest, my first reaction to like Mark Lamont Hill and the Joe Budden podcast was like, I don't know why Mark Lamont Hill is entertaining this
coonery, this downright Sambo shit that they be up there doing. Absolutely.
But I think it shows that when the Mark Lamont Hill goes on the Joe Budden podcast, when I keep on, I'm not gonna say that. Mamandi, so Mamandi going on the Breakfast Club, like that's it seems to be that these are intentional moves to push forth, political thought, or critical thought in these like entertainment media spaces, and trying to have like an actual conversation in a way that's like really actually conversational. The way that Mark Lamont Hill talks about issues of race and things of that nature, or how Mamandi talks about his campaign and his platform. It's very conversational. It's very on a level that like the common person can understand and like grapple with. And there's not enough of that. I don't even think that Democrats or Black Democrats or political thinkers are trying to communicate their ideas and their thoughts to our generation, or to the common individual. They just have their idea of what these people need, what these niggas need, and they're like, all right, well, we're just gonna go ahead and do that. Or like you said, if Cory Booker going into Congress and asking for money to fund the police is like, oh, I know what these niggas want, so let me give them money for the police. It's like nobody's asking for that.
Yeah.
And clearly there's some disconnect between like your advocacy for your or your platform and your constituents. Yeah, I'll stop there. But communication and communication is becoming so much more important again because of social media. Social media is drastically increasing our ability to like communicate with people on a day-to-day basis, on like in a millisecond you can convey a message to somebody, whereas in the past it wasn't so easy to direct message somebody, and so there's so many ideas and information flowing at a given time. And if you're as a party, as a leader in a particular ideology, if you're not intentional again about occupying space intentionally, confidently in the social media space, and pushing forth your message in a way that's like digestible to the average person, then you're not going to be able to convey your thoughts well at all.
Yeah. Or for the point of what they're supposed to be conveyed for, which is for people to understand it and act upon it. Yeah. It is a lot of, I know what I'm talking about and I'm gonna talk at you niggas.
Yeah.
a lot of fake Martin Luther King, Malcolm X shit. A lot of just, you take all the highlights of Martin Luther King. It's all that. I mean, it's, I have a dream. A lot of that shit. I have a dream. Not a lot of letter for Birmingham jail. Not a lot of
Battle of the bullet.
or him being with Aretha Franklin at the church. Not a lot of that shit. It just be a lot of I have a dream.
And you know what? You niggas need to go to church. That's what I'm saying.
You niggas need to also defund y'all churches because y'all they stealing from y'all with y'all ties. But that's a conversation for another day. It has been Poetically Correct. Episode was 8. Yeah, I think it's 8.
8, 9,
getting up
10.
there. Episode 8. We will be back in 2 weeks with some more fire for y'all. We gonna stay on your ass. Because I mean, I really do. I mean, this is why I'd be so excited about getting on here and doing this. I really think this is what's necessary. We talk about all the time. Do we know anybody doing this right now that's our age? No, and I mean, I hope I will start sending this to people and being like, hey, Jasmine Crockett, you want some younger niggas to speak to? I mean, things need to start being done here. Things need to start being done. I have a lot of people that are like, you say, you talked about us posting on our stories, and white people would be mad. You were saying I was posting on my story and that's not doing anything. Well, what are you doing? First of all, I'm black and speaking into a microphone. It's already difficult. But yeah, I think it's also like our time. I think it's really time for people our age, and this is why we do this. Like, yo, if you have some thoughts, like it's time, go reach out to older black people that you know that are successful and be like, yo, how can we bridge this gap? The first thing I think is recognizing that there is a gap that needs to be bridged. So I hope if you didn't, we opened you up to that, because the reason that black ass scrolls on TikTok for 8 hours a day and don't know shit about Black history is not fully your fault. It's kind of your fault, but it's not fully your fault. So this disconnect. I think if we're able to bridge that gap, the generational gap, and at least get some guidance, at least get some leadership, you can start to see just like operational issues kind of change, just how to operationalize some of these agendas and movements that our generation has. So I think that's our biggest problem. How do you actually make it operational? We have a lot of good ideas and concepts, but they're great concepts,
and just that
they're just that. As well as the academics, a lot of theories, lot of black theory of that too. Put that shit in, but once again, that comes from a lack of being in the people and being with the community. So I think this all goes back to to effectively communicate. The first thing you need to do is know who you're communicating towards. And I think that's what all of this comes down to. People are just saying things and just putting thought out and hopping on microphones and just speaking for the sake of it.
And also you need to know what the goal of your message is.
Absolutely. So think about all that before you open your goddamn mouth, and then you're gonna keep it PC. We will see y'all back in 2 weeks.